All right. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the story 7th Grade by Gary Soto. So, side note, before we begin, this is going to be an interesting story, or it could be. 7th grade for me was like the worst, most awkward year of my life, but this story is actually kind of fun and cute, so hopefully you all will enjoy it. Again, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to make some notes as we go to help you pull some stuff out for when you have to answer the questions on this assignment yourself. So here we go. And hopefully we won't have to divide this one up into 2 parts, but if we do, I'll make sure to let you know and I'll have both parts of the video. But this one should be able to fit in one video. So, the first paragraph is just talking about the main character Victor's first day of school. He sees what his classes are. He sees his one elective, French. And he's just describing the people at the school. So then in paragraph 2, we hear about Teresa, who is a girl that he is interested in. So he's liked her since they were in catechism classes. Catechism is questions and answers about religion. So if you are Catholic or Baptist or different sects of Christianity, usually have them. We'll pull up the actual definition real quick. A summary of the principles of Christian religion in the form of questions and answers. So a lot of Catholic children will take catechism classes to learn the whole thing. So they took catechism classes together when they were kids, and he has liked her since then, and she is also taking French. So Teresa, that's the start of our story here. Teresa is taking French also. So this starts out the path. Hold on, we're going to retype this. So the girl he likes is taking the same class as him, so he'll have opportunities to impress her. And I just realized I forgot to talk about what we're supposed to be looking for as we read. So right here, the bold part, it says, as you read, take notes on what Victor does to try to impress Teresa. So that's what we're looking for throughout this story. So paragraph 2, he sees that Teresa is taking French with him. He sees that she is really cute and good in math. And he walks down the hall and he runs into his friend. So he and his friend, they talk, they catch up over the summer. His friend Michael says that he has found a good way to look and put a good look on his face to attract women. So they're trying it out and trying to make it work. They keep talking about all the things they've done over the summer. Then they move on to what classes they're taking. Then the bell rings and they move on to their own classes. So, paragraph 13 is the next place where we're going to stop. He finds out, I'm not going to annotate anything in here. I am just going to point out, though, that he feels this is going to be his lucky year. Teresa's in his homeroom and is probably going to be in his English and math classes and his French class. So, well, we can make a quick note right here. We'll say he's going to have lots of opportunities. Victor realizes he's going to have lots of opportunities to impress her. Realizes he'll have lots of opportunities to impress her. So we're going to move on. They're in homeroom. The bell rings for first period. Pretty much everybody leaves. Teresa lingers because she's talking to the teacher. So Victor also lingers, we notice, in paragraph 17. He lingers because he's waiting for Teresa. He wants to stay and talk to her and hopes to say something clever. So he wants to say something clever. So his first attempt to impress her is that he's going to say something cute and clever when he sees her again for the first time over the summer, after the summer. Oops. He wants to impress her by saying something clever after seeing her for the first time since the summer. But as we see, that doesn't quite work out for him. In paragraph 19, he says, yeah, that's me. His brown face blushed. Why hadn't he said, hi, Teresa, or how was your summer, or something nice? I can definitely relate to him right here because that's like this whole story of my life, saying something real awkward instead of, you know, something normal. So, yeah, I feel you, Victor. So that happens. They walk down the hall. Victor is admiring the way Teresa walks, so he's like in deep with these crushing on her feelings. They get to English. The teacher asks for a noun, and the first thing he says is Teresa. Because that's all he can think about. So English comes and goes. He goes to math, which is his worst subject. Instead of listening, he listens. Then after math, he has social studies, so just kind of like running through his day. They go to lunch. He sits with Michael and they talk. He eats slowly. He's looking around for Teresa, but he can't find her. So then he goes to the outside area where the bag lunch people sit, and he's looking for her still. He keeps looking. He keeps looking. He opens a book and pretends to study so that he can disguise the fact that he's searching for her. And then, in paragraph 34, he finally sees her sitting with a friend under the tree. I'm not going to make any particular notes here, but they smile at each other and they pick up their books and walk to the same class, which is French. So they finally walk to the French class together. And so they get there, they're the last people to arrive. Mr. Bueller, the teacher, greets them all in French. Victor wonders if Teresa heard him say bonjour. The teacher starts introducing them to the class. Then we're going to stop. Our next stopping point is at paragraph 41. So, Mr. Bueller, the French teacher, asks if anyone knows French. Victor raised his hand, wanting to impress Teresa. So, Victor, having trouble highlighting here. Victor claims to know French. Type. Victor claims to know French just to impress Teresa. And then the teacher asks him a question. So the teacher asks him in French, very good, do you speak French? And Victor clearly doesn't know how to speak French, so he doesn't know what to say, and he's trying to bluff his way out of it. He's trying to fake his way into knowing French to impress a girl. So it keeps going. It's not really working. Mr. Bueller's asking him to speak up. He's terrified in paragraph 45 that Teresa is going to think he's a fool. So his attempt to impress a girl has not gone how he wanted, and now he's just embarrassed about it. His attempt to impress her seems to have failed, and now he just feels embarrassed. Oops. There we go. So that's paragraph 45. We're going to keep moving on. It keeps going for a little while. Mr. Bueller keeps thinking maybe he really did say something in French, but he didn't, and then he goes on to actually start teaching the class. So, paragraph 55, the bell rings, and Victor is like, let me just get out of here, I cannot do this. He tries to run out of the room, but at the end of the paragraph, we see that his attempts work. I didn't know you knew French, she said. That was good. So, Teresa believed him. Oops, that didn't work out so well. Teresa believed him, so his attempt actually worked. believed him, so his attempt to impress her actually did work. So that's exciting for Victor. Then we get to paragraph 56, and Mr. Bueller is looking at Victor. He realizes Victor doesn't actually know French, and Victor's wondering what he's going to say. He's hoping that Mr. Bueller won't call his bluff and won't say anything because he just really wants to impress this girl. So we're going to stop at paragraph 57 for just a sec. I want to talk about this. It says, Mr. Bueller shuffled through the papers on his desk. He smiled and hummed as he sat down to work. He remembered his college years when he dated a girlfriend and borrowed cars. She thought he was rich because each time he picked her up, he had a different car. It was fun until he had spent all his money on her and had to write home to his parents because he was broke. So we're going to highlight this whole paragraph. When you do your annotations, you definitely don't have to highlight the whole thing unless you want to, but I'm going to. Wrong color. No, I'm not highlighting it in yellow. Sorry, guys. Because this is like a little mini version of what Victor's doing, right? Victor's pretending to know French even though he doesn't to impress a girl. Mr. Bueller, when he was in college, wanted to impress a girl by making her think he was rich when he wasn't, by borrowing different cars. So I'm going to annotate this part right here. He smiled and hummed as he sat down to work. This shows us that Mr. Bueller remembers what it's like to feel this way. Mr. Bueller remembers what it's like to want to impress a girl. But we're also going to stop down here and highlight this part because this kind of gives us a hint at some of the ideas behind the story, right? Like, it was all fun and games pretending that he was rich until it wasn't anymore, and then he had to ask for help in a kind of embarrassing way. The pretending was great until it all caught up to him, basically. So, pretending something to impress someone may not always be the best solution. All right, we're going to hurry this up. We're almost done. So Victor does claim that he's picked up a few things. He asks, she had asked him if he would tutor her, and he says, yeah, sure. And they make this plan, and Teresa says bonjour and leaves to go to her next class, and she smiles, and they turn to go, and Victor is just ultra pleased. He thinks she's a great girl, and Mr. Bueller is a good guy, and then the last note that we're going to make is that at the end of the school day, he checked out 3 French textbooks. So his plan is to actually learn French in order to impress Teresa. So that's another step that he takes to impress Teresa, is he's going to actually learn French to impress her. So he decides to actually learn French, and he's studying outside of school, like studying ahead on his own to impress her. So then it ends, it just says, it leaves us with, he thinks he's going to like 7th grade because now he's made this bond with this girl, he has this cool class, everything is going to go how he wants it to go. So that is the end of 7th grade, and I hope this helps you when you go to actually do your assignment. And we managed the whole video in our 15-minute time limit. Way to go. I would high-five you, but I can't. So, talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day.